meeting until 3, and then he's gonna come up.
Oh. You have power back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 20 minutes after it went out.
I don't think I'm gonna get it for a while.
Is it that one wire that
Yeah, I
They have
think
to
right
do
there
that.
by the bridge, but it's, you know, they can't go up in the buckets, and that's even worse right there
Yeah.
with the wind coming
Right.
howling across there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to get mine back at 1:30. Back when I left.
So you said there was a fire under the road?
Yeah.
When did you lose it?
You burned down.
I left at 2:20.
That's when you
That's
lost
why you
it.
smell it burn.
No, I lost it,
Burned down.
I don't know, probably 11. It's been off most of the day.
Wild.
Yeah.
And my son, his wife came over and they lost power.
Yeah.
So they were doing.
Side, get across, washed out.
Then you lost it.
Side of the bridge.
Oh, where the state fixed it?
Yeah, we even still have internet.
Oh, it's on the other side. Yeah.
Usually we lose the internet first.
Yeah, I rode all around and I said, oh, looks pretty good.
Oh, it's 3:00.
Now, this is, the Maine Coast guy.
Are we broadcasting?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to the select board, regular scheduled select board meeting to order at 3:01. If you could rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Adjustments to the agenda, there was something,
Yes, David was gonna talk.
Oh, that's
about
it, David.
Sale of fire truck.
And I wanted to report something that I can actually do right now, it'll be 10 seconds.
okay,
I just wanted to report, for those, you may already know it, but the Aberdeen Community Center Auxiliary has got its 501(c) status from the IRS
all right.
as of a couple of weeks ago.
I would like to add hiring Moira to the minutes for the planning board.
Oh, appointing her onto the planning board?
Yeah.
No, you said hiring her.
Oh,
The note taken by the
Oh,
planning.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, okay, oh, I thought,
Appointed to the planning board.
I thought I said hired.
Okay, you did,
He did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So hiring Moira to take notes for the
Yes,
planning board.
planning board.
Okay. All right, old business. Tax acquired property. This is. We have an individual who owned it, we took it. And they have paid their past taxes and any other costs. And they're requesting that we provide a quit claim deed. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
Yes, he's paid the 2021 plus a little,
Yeah.
which we've requested the 2021 to be paid.
So you prepared a quick claim deed, and I noticed you made it clear that it's not releasing the 22 or 23 taxes.
Correct.
So given that, I'll make a motion, we execute a quick claim deed to, what's the name?
It's actually, as per rank was the state.
Okay. For, map and lot number or whatever it is.
Map 13, lot 23.
Yeah. And he understands, correct, that he's still more tax and
Yeah, he
stuff.
understands he owns more
Okay.
tax.
They're gonna be right back in the same spot again.
Right.
Yeah.
Been moved and
I'll second that.
further discussion. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I just had a question, and any feedback from the sheriff on the other?
No, I called him up and message. Tuesday and Wednesday. No one's gotten back.
Okay.
All right, anything further on that topic? Current law has a proposed amendment.
Yeah, I think it simplifies it somewhat.
Oh, does it? Good.
It appears to,
Well-
the proposed law governing tax quiet property.
Oh, yeah, simplifies it,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
but it's not effective yet, but
It doesn't really change the essence of it, it simplifies the process.
Good. All right, next, mowing, open the mowing bid. Side. All right, we have received 2 bids. And first one is Calderwood's LLC. Lump sum bid price $30,000 for year 1, 2, and 3. And it looks like you provided all the information we had specifically asked for.
Yep.
The second bid is from South Thomaston Landscaping. Looks like the principal is Robert Barter. So his lump sum for the first year is 68,000. Second year is 74,800, and the third year is 86,240. We provided the same kind of information and a copy of the certificate of liability.
Terry, can I ask you what we paid last year or what we budgeted this year, or and or both? It just strikes me that even the 30,000 is quite an increase,
I think,
but I can't remember.
yeah,
yeah, I think that.
I feel we have a lot of options.
Yeah, I think the other, what we were going to do was lower than we expected though, wasn't it?
Yeah, mowing for building and grounds was 3,500.
3,500?
Yeah, and that's just the building.
Oh, not the cemetery.
oh, yeah, so it's
I was saying,
yeah.
This is the budgeted amount, or
No, this is what we paid last year.
This quote.
it was 38, you said? 35.
35.
Yeah.
And then the cemetery was 10,500.
Is there any for library or are there any?
Grounds covers the library.
Okay, so that's the total.
That's what we paid last.
Do we do
year.
historical society too, building, or do they do that?
No, we
We
do
do.
that.
It includes historical society. Is that in building and grounds?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And Joe Butler in here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the bid was, when Wilson bid, he bid the same as he did for that last year.
yeah, and he told us that he was bidding below market.
Yes, and then when we discovered he wasn't doing it, we put in a number just to hold the place. We budgeted 18,000 for the cemetery
We're getting closer.
and 6,000 for the building and grounds.
Okay, so we're 6K short right
Yeah.
now.
So I think I don't see we have a lot of options.
I don't either.
And I don't wanna get all the phone calls on Memorial Day when the cemetery's on.
Right, right.
So I would, I think two things, we need to bring it up at budget meeting.
Yep.
And I'll make a motion, we award the bid to Caldwell LLC.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion, and we'll need to get his certificate of insurance
Yes, he said it's provided
if he wanted
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's normal.
I think he may already have, because he's done some sweeping and stuff, but it may need to be updated.
probably needs some.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, we don't have to do the round robin anymore.
Yeah, could I suggest that we deal with Wig, who's representing me as people? He's on Zoom.
Okay,
I think, my suspicion is this won't be a long discussion.
let's see. So we'll go to,
That's just a request.
yeah, new business B. We'll skip A for right now. Go to B. So apparently we've received complaints. And so I think this is really a touch base on how you're coming in taking care of the storm damage is my understanding, right?
Yeah. So I'm actually in Somerville, Mass, but almost all my family's in Brunswick and Boothbay Harbor in the summertime. I did get up 3 times last year. There was still some, including in the summer, there was, I came up the day after one of the big storms, and there was still a couple young guys using the site, experienced for a little bit of hauling their lobsters in and a little bit of processing in the building. And, you know, obviously the pier is in really bad shape. Each of the big storms have done additional damage to the pier. And I don't have much else to report on that. You know, the family are running one restaurant at the request of the town of Swampscott, Mass. The 3 brothers' average age is about 80 years old. They're all retired. They have no children. And so they are looking to dispose of their commercial properties as quickly and expeditiously as possible. That's really all I can tell you, to be honest. Happy to try to answer any questions.
This is John Spear. We've talked on the phone a few times
Yep.
when we were dealing with the road project.
Yep.
I think though that it's beyond the point of just the pier. I think that was sort of maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. The little house across the street, the windows are blown out, there's glass everywhere.
Right.
The fuel tank sits there. I don't know if there's any fuel in it or not. It sits there right next to the road. It's really not in a secured cement basin. My suspicion is, and this is just speculation on my part, that it was never pumped out, but I could be totally wrong about that. There's up by the bridge, there's 3 or 4 floats that have washed ashore, and they have styrofoam under them, and the styrofoam is broken up and it's all over the place there. I mean, it's really a mess. So I don't think it's just the fact that the storm damage, a lot of that stuff here has blown into the harbor. There's actually a little floating piece there that has some sort of generator on it that's on the banking, half in the water there. I don't know if there's fuel there or not. I'm hoping there isn't. So I think we were hoping to avoid, you know, taking some formal action and just kind of requesting if you guys could at least start to get some of the more egregious problems addressed sooner than later. I mean, I think the building across the floats in the ramp seems to be gone. Excuse me, the float seems to be gone and the ramp is submerged halfway in the water. And it looks very dangerous. It looks to me like if some kids got out there or something, there could be a bad situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've been around the water, I worked on the water for 5 years in the Booth Bay area and started a large seaweed processing business that was based on raking from boats, not the noisy things they use now. So I have some familiarity, and I would agree with you. I'm very careful when I visited the site in the summertime, when I walk out toward the pier and the dock. I'm very careful, and so I would agree with you, and I'll touch base with the family and see what we can accelerate. We did have Jeff for a while, was using it for his cold storage, and he tends to give me a call when something happens that's really large, same concern as your own, just to give me a heads up. So I will try to get up as soon as I can with my camera, and I'll also check with the family.
Well, I don't know, Terry, our code enforcement officer and town administrator, she took
Yep.
a bunch of pictures and sent them to Carol.
Yeah, Carol Rawson is a longtime family employee in their back office. I'm not a direct employee of the family, but I tend to handle real estate development possibilities and that kind of thing. But yeah, she's been there for a very long time, and she is the one person who's usually in the back office still.
Yeah, well, all I was gonna suggest is that perhaps she could send you those photos. You could.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
They
Yeah,
give you a good sense of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And I personally, I mean, obviously there's mechanisms that we as a town can pursue.
Right.
To address this, and I personally would like to avoid that, because it's.
No, I appreciate it. Most of the things that have been on property have nothing to do with the owners. Other people have been storing things on property that are not connected with them, just because I think they saw the open property. The two young guys who were working there were good guys. So not certainly we have no complaints about them. Yeah, I will get in touch with her tomorrow morning and ask her to send me the photos. I'll also try to get up myself fairly quickly. Looked like today, I checked the power about 3 times today, and they showed pretty much 100% of CMP's customers out. And my sister and brother-in-law are on the waterfront in Brunswick. They got spared this time. They also have some solar and backup though, just in case, because these storms are getting a little bit worse and the water's getting a little higher.
Yeah, just to be clear, after you look at these pictures, it'll be pretty obvious to you that what we're talking about is large portions of the property facilities are now in the water and along the shore.
Yeah.
It needs a major cleanup, and it needs it fairly quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I assume it's mostly the wooden parts. I assume the concrete portions of the buildings have not collapsed, because they seem to be on more solid ground.
It looks like there are some concrete portions that have been damaged. There's riprap portions that the wooden pier was on that has been damaged. Yeah. There looks like chunks of concrete next to the fuel tank. It's a mess. It's a mess, and it needs. I think they need to get somebody in there to appraise the damage and figure out how much it's going to cost to take it down. It's not something that they're going to be able to just hire somebody in the back roads to take care of. It's going to pretty major cleanup.
And are there federal or state funds available that you would recommend we check into?
There are some FEMA funds. I don't know the timing on it or which one of the storms caused this. But Terry, I think she's already sent out information. And if you haven't received it, she can send it out to you.
I can send it to Carol, I have her email.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be terrific.
Yeah, I do think though, where it's not an operating business, that's probably gonna be a difficult hill to climb.
Yeah, me too.
But nevertheless, it's worth looking into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
But
that.
the house across the street really needs to be secured, and I don't know if the electricity's been shut off in the main building or not. Perhaps it should be, I'm not an expert on that, but.
Yep, I can check that.
Yeah, it is not really an issue of folks that are there putting stuff or access to the facility. It is the facility is in complete disarray.
Yeah.
And I would be surprised if anybody's capable of using it for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, last time I was up, there a year ago, the two young guys were still using it a little bit. I have no idea. Are there still traps on the inland lot?
Oh, there's traps all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, those have nothing to do with us.
Yeah, they're the least of the work.
Yeah, yeah, they're in one of these 30 pictures.
But,
But the amount of large pieces of wood that are floating around in that pound that are gonna make their way out to the ocean.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff there. And
Yeah.
it's very unsafe. I mean, it should at least be blocked off that people can't get out onto that wharf.
yeah,
It's very unsafe.
Yep.
and it's what Maine law would call an attractive nuisance.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I take everything, you know. I assume everything you said is precisely accurate.
So we don't just hang here, can we expect to hear back from you within a week or so?
Yeah, what is your what's your cycle, and who should my contact person be? Is there someone I should be emailing or calling in specifically?
yeah.
Carol's got Terry's
Okay.
email and phone
Okay.
number.
Okay.
And she's our town administrator, so she's kind of the
Okay.
common link between the three of us. She's
All right.
also our code enforcement officer as well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Terry Bain. is her name.
Is
Mr.
every-
Chairman,
Who is it?
this is Julia O'Brien. I'm a summer resident on Seal Cove Road, which is right adjacent to the Maine Coast Seafood Action. And I very much appreciate the selectmen bringing up this issue. This has only been made worse by the recent storms, but the lack of supervision and maintenance on the inland side as well as the other side has been getting worse and worse as years have gone by. And I'm somewhat troubled by the gentleman's assertion that the gear piled on the inland side has nothing to do with him. Because it certainly does. It's on their property. And it's spilling over onto our adjacent right-of-way into our properties. And it's a huge mess. So I really do underscore the board's assertions that the house there is a danger. Its windows have been blown out, to my knowledge, for 3 or 4 years. It's a prime example of neglect. And I would just like to stress to the gentleman that I think that the property owners do have a broad-based responsibility here.
Okay, so it's okay if we dispose of all those traps? They aren't ours, but
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
Well-
but you're gonna,
they're not our traps.
so
So,
you have to go through Marine Patrol.
Yeah.
But there's a process for disposing of abandoned traps. Yeah, and they should have
They
tags.
should have tags on
They're
them.
all
Maybe
found.
we could find out who owns them. Perhaps. I think I know who owns some of them. James
yeah,
does.
I assume
If it's a
that
number,
I assume that somebody just saw the space and thought it was attractive for putting their traps and storing them there. Yeah, so if you can let me know, if I can't take those off site and destroy them, then I'll have to connect with Marine Patrol or whoever the officials are who have jurisdiction.
Yeah. I personally wouldn't just take them though.
Correct, right.
This is also Kevin Gordon's on my property also abuts this property that we're talking about. And it's not just traps, there's pallets, that the last time I was up there, I'm also a summer resident, that are stacked up there. Obviously, I joined a little bit late, but that building is obviously, as Julia said, in complete disrepair. So I appreciate the select board's attention to the matter. But yeah, it definitely needs to be cleaned up significantly.
Okay. And you'll get back with the CEO within a week or two as for the follow-up on this. Wait.
Yeah, I'll check with Carol tomorrow or Monday. I mean, I don't know on your end how long it will take to get the contact information there, but why don't I say I'll check with Carol on Monday and try to start picking up those leads.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, shared sustainability coordinator grant. Hello, how are you doing? Good.
Hi, how can I help? On a general sort of background?
Yeah,
So, community resilience, right? We're basically focused on that main community partnership money. And about a couple of months ago, Meg Rasmussen with the main card, Nick Coast card, sorry, brought up the idea of a shared sustainability coordinator that's been happening around a little bit around the state. And I sent you all a copy of that. So we got attracted to the idea because it's about putting more gas in the tank around what we do. So we can do, obviously little bits along the way, but in order to really accelerate resiliency and somebody getting into doing grants and focus, etc., we feel it really needs a dedicated resource. If we don't have it, then we just kind of do things a little bit slower. I've also found out since emailing you that we have a decision to make because we can only apply for one grant. So September is going to be the next funding source. So we'll either apply for a grant for something else, or we'll apply for a grant for the shared sustainability coordinator with St. George. So that discussion is going to happen on Sunday. We'll have Meg Rasmussen and others. I've alerted them, everybody to that. When we had the last discussion about it, we thought both wanted to go both ways. Right. To dual efforts because the same source of information for the grant In other words, our emergency action plan, all the kind of inventory stuff that we did on the last grant will be the same for both proposals, but we can't put in two, we can put in one. So, personally, I think it would be a great move. Getting the idea behind it is that they would create a climate action plan that's not just a plan, it would identify near, midterm, and long-term actions. And the conversation I had yesterday with Meg would be that even though that would be a joint town effort, plans would be unique and specific to each town. So that the grant requires that we work on something common. It would be where it says suggesting climate action plan. And then that could then be detailed for each town as to what is necessary. On top of that, we've just finished the survey for the town, kind of figuring out what the priority should be this time around. And we had double the amount of respondents to the survey from last time, a year and a half ago. Number one is sea level rise. Number two is energy cost. In terms of giving them kind of ranked choice voting. And we have a lot of comments that we'll share that with you. So just got the draft with you, but there's a huge amount of concern around sea level rise, as you might expect. So just the last sort of comment, as I think about it, was if we go for thinking up some project for us, instead of doing a shared sustainability coordinator, if we think about, okay, let's do something for sea level rise. If we get $50,000, what would we do with it? You know, how far would it go with respect to that issue? So that's as much as I know right now. It's definitely new that we can only go for one instead of for two. Personally, I think that getting an additional resource to work on this would accelerate what I think needs to happen over time. I have an informal meeting with Knox County coastal communities. We meet about every month or so to share what's going on. And the level of concern, I mean, some of the towns are talking about areas that they need to retreat from as a result of what's going on. So I think there's a sense of urgency around it. But let me just stop there.
So I agree with you. I think getting somebody to chase down grants and to build a plan up front is more bang for your buck than going after a $50,000 or even $150,000 project. I think you get a lot more out of a person working on it and setting up a plan. So that's my personal opinion. But I do have a couple of questions on the grant. We have to identify which town they're gonna work for, who their bosses will be, and I think St. George has agreed to take it on.
And then they just have to formally.
Okay.
So for everything I know, they're happy to take that on.
Yeah.
And when that does happen, then they create the contract, whether that's a full-time, part-time employee contract, benefits, etc. That all gets worked out with St. George.
Yeah. And again, I strongly support St. George doing it only because they have a manager, a town manager,
Right.
which we don't. So they've got somebody who can actually supervise that individual other than the select board, which is
I
what
agree with it completely, particularly since Terry's leaving.
Right.
Hannah, who has very little experience, is coming in on July 1st.
Right.
I think, I agree 100%.
So, yeah, now the second part is what let's say we get the grant. What are there any dollar commitments? Is there a match we're gonna have to provide? Does the position go away when the grant money goes away?
Yes.
Okay, So it's not envisioned as this is, we'll get you started with this position. And then in 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna have to keep this person, but you'll have to pay for it on your own dime.
Yeah, I think my initial thoughts around that is get them in and like get a defined project. And if this thing's sort of going well, it's like, well, let's kind of keep going and find the one to keep that going.
Right.
If that's necessary. You know, maybe there's 100 and when two or more towns go for that resilience money, the pot increases to $125,000. So we envision, I think the Falmouth and Yarmouth had that position for like a year and a half, something like that. So I envision the same. Beyond that, I don't know.
Good. Then the second part of the question is, are there qualified individuals out there right now that could fill this position? So we're creating a position that is doable. That's
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I support the idea, and I particularly like hiring with St. George, because I think they have a lot of the same issues we do, and I think the last couple of months have demonstrated that. We also have linkage with St. George with the ambulance. Our current snowplow contractor, road worker is J.K. Calick, and he does a lot of work in both St. George and South Thomaston. I think that is another connection. So I think it's kind of a nice fit in many ways. I'm all in favor of it. I did have the same question. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't, in a year or two, have to agree to pick up this position.
Yeah.
Not that perhaps we wouldn't get other grants and you could take a piece of administrative money from that and keep it maybe part-time or something, who knows, but I think we need to do some planning. I think we have some very vulnerable areas.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
That employ a lot of people in this town.
And there's some additional advantages to working with St. George, because they're in some ways they're way ahead.
Yeah.
And they've just finished some really important research with Sebago Engineering. So they mapped out that whole coastline and a forecast on projection on what's happening sea level rise. They're now taking that into the schools and doing education and all that and simulation. So we would benefit.
Yeah. So do you need us to approve you moving forward with this, or okay?
I'll make a motion that we approve the towns through the resiliency committee submitting a grant in partnership with St. George. I'm not sure the exact name.
It's sustainability coordinator.
Teams for shared sustainability coordinator.
I'll
Is that
second.
too long, Terry? You can.
Good answer, George.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Anything else you'd like to add?
Appreciate bringing it up.
I just have one comment. I would urge people, the resiliency committee is a town committee, and those meetings are open to the public, and so people should feel free to attend if they just to observe or whatever. You meet typically on Sunday?
We meet now every 2 weeks on Sunday, so this Sunday, 2 o'clock.
At the.
Yeah. And then just so you know, what we've been doing in the survey process is we did a survey percent on the listserv, but we also spent Saturday mornings sitting with people and talking. We have to do that part of our client. We have to have engagement. But we've also been really talking to a lot of people about it. Just because of what happened, there's an increased concern and worry.
Yep, good. Good on you. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We try to get David out here?
Yeah, so I was just looking to see what, yeah.
He's
definitely.
an adjustment. Right?
Yes, sir. You ready to sell?
Well, yeah. So we put, I don't know if you know, but we put both trucks up for sale on the town website. And through Bring the Lead Fire Apparatus. And so we've had a bid put in for the utility truck. Alton was interested in purchasing that truck from us. So we put it online for 25,000 and, they came back, with a proposal for 18,000. I took it back to the truck committee, and as a committee, we voted to accept the 18,000. To help them out, and, you know, we were kind of starting a little high to see where we could get. And so we think it's a fair price, and it would help them out too a little bit with their neighbors and everything. So I just kind of, if you guys want to talk, you know, just to see what they proposed.
Had anybody else put in the?
No,
That was the only.
no, I haven't heard anyone from, for the utility, I haven't. The tank truck, I have, but that's been coming through to bring the lead. Company, not the website.
And we haven't shut that off yet, but we're still getting that information in, right? Yeah.
And through that website, Brenda Lee, they got, I haven't had one request for this truck through them. So,
was there a deadline for submittal, or was it just sort of ongoing until you found something?
oh, we just put it up for sale for $25.
Okay, so there was no, you have
No
to
bid
bid,
or.
you have to have your bid in by
And
then.
they just put an offer in.
Yeah, okay, so we're not waiting on a deadline.
No. So they can't purchase this, which would work out great for us, until after the budget, the new budget starts, so like August or something, before they'll have the money to purchase this, which as of yesterday, our utility truck is scheduled now for July and the tank truck September. So by the time we get the stuff moved over on the new truck stuff, that'd be about right for when they want to purchase this truck.
So, and it's the basic truck, it's not.
Yeah, they don't want anything with it.
Okay.
No tools, no.
Yeah, I think they've got most of that. They used to have one.
It's for sale now. They're gonna put that money towards, so if they sell their truck, which is for sale right now, they could possibly be able to purchase this sooner, but they still can't have it until we get our new one.
Yeah, I don't know what, I do know that they had one and now they're not using one, so they
Yes,
probably still have it, but.
if they have a ran tellers on the lawn for sale.
Is it?
Oh, is that where that came from?
Yeah.
So I know the first question I get when I'm gonna walk out of here is, I've gotta ask it, is, well, if it's good enough for Al's head, how come it wasn't good enough for us? I can see that question coming. So,
Cause they on our truck replacement plan, this is,
Yeah,
and that. They're planning on, what their plans are for that is right now, the fire chief uses his own vehicle. He goes to the state, like a couple people take a truck, he goes to the station and loads up the rest of the firefighters in his personal vehicle and then goes to the scene. And then, so they don't really have like a utility type truck, so they're gonna tear like some of the body off that and kind of make it like a pickup truck to transport people, not have much equipment on it like we do. Now we're overloaded, you know, we're maxed out with stuff on that truck.
yeah,
well, that helps me answer that question.
yeah.
So with this new one, we're getting,
So they're gonna repurpose it, really?
yes, it's not gonna be like
Yeah,
with the jaws, right now we have the jaws on it,
Yeah.
so it's not gonna have any of that,
okay,
yeah,
that's very helpful.
yeah.
That was a good question.
It was,
And then I have, like, if we do go through this, which actually for both trucks, is one thing is where's the money gonna go? Is it gonna go back into the trucks or? Or like, it'd be nice if it could not just go into surplus and be used for anything.
Yeah, I don't think we would, although we haven't voted on it, so we haven't actually decided. But I wouldn't see it going into the general surplus. I would see it going into one of the reserve accounts for.
Like
I'd rather see it going into
Toward the-
borrowing less.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, or decreasing.
And that's what we were thinking, go in
Yeah.
the reserve account. and
You know, it's not a lot of money, but you know, you knock off 18,000 over time,
Yeah, that's true.
you know.
I agree.
That's personally where I would see it directed.
That's what we were hoping for in the committee, we were hoping they were going out of reserve. And then be used towards these new trucks or the next trucks or whatever, however it falls.
Yeah.
Obviously,
And then,
new trucks.
and then theoretically, if you borrow less, you have the ability to put more into reserve that theoretically that you're saving on the payment,
Right.
loan payment, so.
Yep.
But that's not a guarantee, I could, but.
Yeah, so you wanna make that part of the motion to,
Sure, I hadn't thought of it, so we're looking for a motion to authorize. You're gonna have to help me out here, so I'll move that we authorize the sale of a
2000.
2000 utility Ford,
350.
Ford F-350 to the town of Owl's Head for the sum of $18,000. And the proceeds will be utilized to lower the amount we borrow for the new trucks.
I'll second
Is that
that.
good enough? Harry, for the auditor?
Yeah.
I think
I
that,
get it all, but I wasn't very clear.
yeah. Good. Any further discussion?
Just, I was gonna, we had talked about in our committee, if we wanted to have ours had put like $500 down or $1,000 or whatever we come up with for money, just put down to hold it until August or July or whenever they can buy it, or if it matters, or.
Doesn't to me, I trust them.
Yeah, we know where they live, so.
I mean, let's face it, if they're gonna back out, what are we gonna do, sue them?
Right.
Yeah.
That's for everybody, that'd be easier, and then we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, good. All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
3-0. Thank you. Did you have anything else for us?
No, I guess I'll just have to do we have like, I mean, I guess I'll have to type up a bill of sale, or do we have anything that we use that, or something? Or what do we need for documentation?
Title?
That, I don't know.
Title?
It must be a title.
Yeah, I'm sure I know there's gotta be a,
I think there's a file.
But yeah, we probably wanna bill a sale, and I assume we're selling it as is with
Yeah, that's what they put in there.
no warranties expressed or implied.
Yeah. So I
yeah.
wonder who to move the drafts out or what we.
I think you can work with Terry on that.
Well, yeah,
Or I can draft one and we'll send it out,
yeah, like there's
make sure everyone likes it.
okay.
Got that, Hannah?
Between the two of you, between you and Hannah. Yeah, good.
Did you get your computer fixed, David?
No, all that I know of, unless it's been since I was out with, storm and everything. But no, we're missing all the files that were on the network folder. All of our files that we have on the computer are gone. It
Really?
didn't update, and the guy doesn't know why it happened, but they can't find them. I don't know
Wow.
how much more we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'll email Gus again, I tried calling him, but there's no direct number to get Gus.
Yeah,
They were saved to the network, not to the computer itself.
yeah, pretty, as far as I know, the network.
Why isn't the network backed up?
Yeah, it should be. That's part of the point of having one.
It is. I
Yeah.
mean, all our financial,
Our tech guy should know this.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we spent all day that day working for that guy, and he had no clue, he couldn't figure it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. And we haven't lost other files.
But you guys have been busy today, but you've also been busy the last week or so. That was,
These three, we're at, last year we had 114 calls from January 1st to December 31st. And as of today, we're at 64 calls this first 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been really busy. So you guys are gonna see that the payroll is way over.
yeah, and that was St. George with the fatality,
Yes.
the recent fatality.
Yeah,
That's the first one I can recall in years.
Yeah.
In this area anyway.
so bad call, it went very well for what it could have been. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
All right, well, good on you and them too. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion on the town report.
Did we do the minute?
No.
Oh, did I skip over that?
In that public comment, just not to, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about.
Oh, Walter's on it, he might have some.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I was wondering, did we do the minutes?
No,
yeah, I did not do.
Because I had several suggested edits that I sent to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I know what it was. We went to adjustments and you started in on, you already
Yeah.
started something and we just kept moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So approve the minutes for March 12th and 18th as amended.
So I didn't print off the second copy. Was that Rev 1?
Yes. You have another one after that?
No.
Okay.
So this, oh, I'm sorry, this is March 12th, right? We're dealing
It was
12th and or.
12th.
with, yeah,
Yeah.
but right now we're dealing with the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of March 12th with the revision 1.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I, John.
Aye.
Okay. Now the 18th.
Why don't? Hold on. I did have a couple questions on that, and I can't see it. Here we go. Now, I apologize. The 18th was the one that I revised. And so I got mixed up. So can we start over? So I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of the 18th. Revision 1.
I'll second that.
All right. Further discussion? All those in favor?
John, aye.
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 Okay, now the 12th. There is no revision 1.
Right.
Okay, my mistake. And I had a question. Somewhere, very minor. If I recall. Oh, I didn't understand on 6C. I didn't understand that line that says donation can be made over a 3-year period, and I don't recall that being said or who said that. And it confused me.
Yes, it was there. I can't remember who said it, but I can go back and listen to the minutes. Was it Sandy that was talking?
I don't know, it all of a sudden just appeared in there and I just didn't have any idea what it meant and I had no context around it or. So it was more of a question.
Well, you wanna, she said that if you wanted to spread your donations out over 3 years, you could. You didn't have to do it all at once.
Well, couldn't it be 5 years or?
Well, she said 3.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, it just confused me.
You want me to just strike?
I just wonder if we should just strike it, because there seems to be no context around it,
Yeah, we can strike it.
but, and then, on K. Just for clarity purposes, I think it should read, this request was from the president of the board of directors of the Library and Community Center Auxiliary. So add the words of the Library and Community Center Auxiliary. And this is very minor, but on M.
Yeah.
Because people seem to be getting confused, but there is no auxiliary and library facility committee. It's the board of directors of the the you can just use the word auxiliary. I mean, people are using these words interchangeably, and I'm trying to get us away from that.
That would be good, because it gets confusing.
Yes, it does. One's a board of directors of a private non-profit corporation, and the other is a committee of the town.
Okay, so the board of directors of the auxiliary have been asking for less grant.
Sorry, I put it away. Yeah, the request was from the president of the board of directors of the Library and Community Auxiliary, Library and Community Center Auxiliary.
No, the M.
M.
Hmm?
On M.
M.
I'm sorry.
You wanted it to say the board.
Yeah, the auxiliary board of directors and the library facility committee. Thank you. That's. Sorry. For some reason I'm struggling a minute tonight.
So is there a motion to approve as amended?
So,
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and I guess, Walter, you're the only one out there that I would consider a,
Julius.
oh, Julia's still on as well, but, oh, wait a minute. A sort of public person. Have you got anything that you want to talk about that's not on the agenda? Are either of you there?
Yeah.
Okay, hearing none, we will move on. Yeah. All right, sign the audit engagement letter. Did I miss something?
Town
Oh, the town report. Yeah, I started down that path. So we have a ton of pictures. I don't know if you guys looked at them.
No, I know.
I'll,
And I don't care to.
you don't care? Okay.
Terry says she has one, that's fine with me.
Are we into Terry's or yours?
I like Terry's too. That one's
It's not your photo, right? It's your,
no.
your choice.
Yeah.
But Jess was nice too.
Yeah, I
We're just being more.
Is that yours?
that's the one I like.
More open, more,
More inclusive, more,
yeah, and a real, someone, not that someone real took it, but.
Somebody we know. Okay.
You're gonna force me to decide?
Yeah.
yeah.
They both have made very nice covers.
This would be kind of a throwback.
Yeah.
And this would be
Black
more
and white.
current.
Yeah, and then that would be a color one. I do like that one though. I like the subject matter of that one.
I don't care.
I'll make a motion, we take the old photo. No offense, Jack.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Since you said you like it.
I do, so.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor for the old black and white picture?
Aye.
Aye.
That was easy.
Yeah. Now sign the audit engagement letter.
I make a motion, we sign the audit engagement letter with Mindy Steers. Did I get her name right there?
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded, and the fee. Did it increase? It's 5,600, is that what it is?
That's what it's been.
Hmm,
That's the same.
that's same. Yeah.
She's very helpful, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, you can call her, send her an email anytime, and sometimes it might take her a day to get back to you, but she always gives you an answer.
and she seems to understand some of the nuances of
Our craziness.
Yeah, our craziness, are trying to hold things back and not. All those in favor? Aye. Yo. Renew the contract with DMNJ.
This is a fairly significant increase, is it not?
Yes,
But having said that, they are super to work with. Wouldn't you agree?
yes, I would.
Can you just tell me what we were before? The container rental was,
159.
159,
and the transportation,
381.60. Per ton was 105,
yeah, and they don't really have control over that.
correct?
They just pass that along.
And they put in a fuel charge, surcharge for that. I don't know if we were doing that before or not.
Yeah, I've been doing that since.
Yeah, a lot of them,
COVID.
the state started doing it and then a lot of the others followed. But it doesn't kick in until $4.50, so. And I can say that having gone through this, the transfer station, that these prices are in line with the standard that's out there amongst just about all the haulers.
So my fear is we haven't budgeted enough though to accommodate. I think we did put in some factor.
We did put in some extra when we were discussing the budget.
Yeah, but I don't think it, I mean, like, for example, what, 450 from 381 is what? Percentage wise. 20, 70 bucks, all right, close enough for. Why won't this work? Never works when I want it to. So 70 divided by 381 is. That's an 18% increase. I don't think we factored that much.
I don't think so, you know.
So I guess if we do approve this, we're gonna have to revisit this at budget.
Do we have an option not to?
Right.
We could,
Well, given that it's April first.
right, and there are other ones out there, but I can tell you that they'll take a long time to get back to us, and their prices are gonna be pretty much in line with this. Matter of fact, the container rentals will probably be steeper than that.
And this guy was so good when I talked to him about working with me on the brush, and I kind of got a couple of trials lined up, and that kind of throws a monkey wrench in that. And I'll make a motion, we accept the proposed contract for DMNJ for the period April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2026.
I'll second that.
I mean, he does hold the price in the second year, right?
No, it's
CPI, 2%. Increased by 2%
Or the national.
or the
CPI.
national
Okay,
CPI,
that's right, too. I saw that somewhere.
whichever's greater.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
New contract with the interstate septic.
This is the one that never increases, right?
Oh, I think
No, it's
It did-
2,300 per hour.
It's been like,
It's still,
I think it's been that way 20 years.
Yeah.
that absolutely shocks me because his cost of doing business has to have gone up. Because there are now only certain places that it can be, things can be dumped. And they have to pay a higher fee for it, so.
Well, given that, I make a motion.
Yeah, do it quickly.
Do it quick,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
All right,
I'll second that.
second. Okay. Any other further discussion? No, all those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. On the reports. Assessors. And EMA.
We think here, seems as though we used to get them all in the first meeting of the month, and now they seem to be all over.
Because we used to have our meetings the second and the fourth,
Right.
like
Yeah.
consistently, and
They haven't been.
they haven't been so
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
So because we're meeting early, two people,
Well, and we weren't going to, this meeting was added on
yeah,
primarily
it was
for the
gonna be
morning.
a one agenda item.
Right, yeah,
I know, that's what I said when I looked at the agenda, I'm like, oh, not gonna be so quick.
yeah. Yeah, because we saw everybody else's March
What you're
report at the
seeing-
last,
Yeah, what you're seeing now, they're Marches, right? I mean, that's
except
February.
February for the assessor,
EMA is March.
EMA is March.
He sounds very low on the last day of the month.
Well, if that's always behind it, it's also always the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Deeds are plus or minus 20,
Yeah.
and site visits plus or minus 7.
He's checking to see if you really is.
Yeah. He does owe me a call back on the process this year, so.
So what are we doing for Good Dale?
Oh, yeah, we're moving on now to donations. Did we have any extra?
We did not, we add, Moira.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd entertain a motion to hire Maura as the note taker for the planning board beginning April. And how much?
Well, she actually worked last week.
Oh, did she? That's at the beginning.
No, she volunteered last.
Oh, she volunteered.
Yeah.
Okay,
She tried it out.
yeah. And how much is she asking?
What we budgeted was 19, I don't know, and change, and she would like it to be donated to the library auxiliary. Do I have that one right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's, so, kind of like what we do with Cliff.
Okay,
We put the money in his elbow fund.
yeah, but we still gotta pay her $1 or something, right? Something.
I mean, I'll lower her chances of getting hurt taking notes at a.
I know.
Well, I suppose you could trip over a chair and
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Get carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Terry, you can work out those details.
Okay,
okay.
So she's basically willing to work for the budgeted amount.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll make a motion, we hire Moira Paddock as a note taker for the planning board.
I'll second that.
Okay, and she wasn't interested in being on the planning board. That's interesting.
No, she wasn't.
Maybe that'll be that. All right, all those, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Can I ask who's doing it now? Oh, you were as a code officer?
Right.
I think we.
Oh, and participate, I understand.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, no donations, correspondence. New Hope Midcoast wants to let the community know of their strategic planning.
Oh.
Familiar with them, do they have? They used to have posters and things to advertise who to call.
Well,
Yeah, and I haven't seen any lately.
I don't think I've seen any either. Yeah, they used to send us,
Yeah,
some put up posters up on the bulletin board.
yeah, you can double check with them. I mean, that's what I'm interested in more. I mean, I think it's great that they've got a plan, but what I'd like to see more is advertising to folks that might need their services and how to do that.
I just noticed we have two public comments on the.
Yeah, yes. Well, we actually put it on to the last one, the last meeting, specifically to deal with one particular subject,
Yep, never got taken off.
and we just didn't take it off, so.
Where do we want to leave it from now on?
I don't know, part of me would just soon go back to doing it at the beginning. I understand why we put it back there, but I'm just, since we're not doing a lot of things by Zoom anymore. We're not getting Zoom bombed. That's kind of died away. I just soon do it at the beginning.
Okay.
That was part of it, but part of it was also. I feel people come in and they get on the agenda and then somebody comes in the meeting and not on the agenda and they get to go first.
Yeah,
So, but I'm not hot over it.
Yeah.
If you wanna put it back first, I would say that's the chair's prerogative.
yeah. I mean, and the other part of it is, there's two ways to approach it, is you just let the chair determine how long they can speak, or if they're getting out of line, or you have a written policy that says you can only speak for X amount of time, and it can't
Which is
be.
probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I don't know that we've ever had
We've,
a major
yeah,
problem with it. I don't know.
every once.
Every once in a while, song, well,
Yeah, but, okay, so we'll go ahead and put it back on the beginning and leave it to the chair to police it. So we've got an increase in legal fees, is that right?
What was it before?
190? I don't know, that's off the top of my head. Might not be really accurate.
Yeah, I've always in the back of my mind just said it was gonna be 200 an hour, so that may have been just rounding up.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
alright, got him.
and going to 215, I'll still say in the back of my mind, it's 200 an hour.
Around 200.
You're right. Yeah,
He does point out that it's well below what they charge their private clients, so.
yeah. Oh, I agree. This, even
And I
at that, still.
find her. I don't find her sort of making work for herself.
Right,
If anything, I think it's the opposite a little bit.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Like when I email back and say, we can take it from here, you know, and she doesn't ignore that and send me this nice clean copy that she had someone type up in format. And, oh, there's another $200.
Right.
Speaking of which, you did get that. Filled that ATV ordinance.
Yes,
That Ash filled to proof it for the warrant. and
Yes.
stuff, So,
and there's a couple of typos or,
yeah. Formatting issue or something.
yeah, and then just
Yeah, okay.
put it into the warrant that's on the next meeting to be
Right, good.
reviewed.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's done. If you guys have issues.
Yeah, and it's short enough that the whole thing can be on the.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, Sweet Sir is asking if we have a process that allows charitable requests from nonprofits for town funding, and we do have a process. We don't do
We
it.
don't.
Although they can take up a petition.
Right.
We have a letter, don't we? Standard letter that we send out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never had anyone come back with a petition.
No.
no. American Legion. Oh, this is, yeah, this is primarily for, I don't know if they got it in time, but to be. Cause I think they actually approved this on a Wednesday, last Wednesday, and then,
Those came in, well, it was written on March 5th.
yeah, I think.
I just checked with Sonia and see if she's got it. She may have gotten it. And even if she didn't, she might be able to just send it in.
Yeah, well, I think what she said, her feedback was that she got so many of them
Yeah, she
that
was
she
surprised.
didn't send them all in.
Oh,
Yeah,
There was so many of them that she,
which is great.
yeah,
Glad she
I
got
agree.
one.
Review warrants, items for the next meeting is a budget meeting. Ninth,
we have 3 next week, right?
right,
9th,
the
10th, and
9th,
11th.
10th and 11th, and then the 15th if we need it.
And one of the days we have to be out of here by 6,
Yes,
because the conservation committee meets at, so we really gotta be out of here by 5:45 or 10 of or something. Which day is that, Wednesday?
Wednesday, we just have the fire and ambulance.
Okay,
But that's the day we've got fire and
Yeah.
ambulance, so if any of them are gonna run along, it'd be that one.
yeah, but that's it though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it.
that's all.
No, we should be.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our next select board will be the 23rd, which is the 3rd. Or no, it's the fourth Tuesday. Looks like we can start trying to get back to
And
that.
that's the one where Paul DiMaggio wants to be on the agenda.
Yeah,
Correct.
and we have,
We need to finalize the warrant,
yeah,
Yep. Yeah,
but it's still a draft,
it's still a draft.
but you gotta finalize it by the town report.
Yeah.
And how are we doing with town reports?
I
It's a
think
short one.
Jeff and I are the only two that haven't.
So,
Is that it?
I believe so. Hannah?
She's-
And Penny,
Oh,
if you can hear me.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Penny?
have a report. Oh, Penny.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you, speaking of reports, we got grant submission plans in from everybody,
Yes,
including the facilities committee?
Sandy's gonna get it to me.
So we don't.
We don't.
And what about the resiliency committee?
Yes,
And what about Penny?
no.
Okay, so we're missing 2?
But does Penny ever do any grants?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does, yeah,
Sometimes they're little ones, but
right. Yeah, and there's 2 or 3 of them that she does all the time. She's on the list to get, basically.
Do you want that to be on the agenda of the 23rd to review them, or am I just giving you for? Hold on to?
Yeah, I don't know that we need to review them during the select board meeting, but we could have it on the agenda as a discussion. item.
yeah, I mean, I think we should share them
Yeah.
put it together on a list and share it amongst the
So they
departments.
each,
So,
yeah,
and that's the whole idea, so the kind of the left hand knows what the right hand's thinking about. And it doesn't do any good, and we, and they don't. you know?
right.
Exactly. All right.
So we had an executive session too, that I requested.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, executive, okay,
For personnel,
all right.
So I'll make a motion that we enter executive session to discuss the personnel matter in accordance with
403, I don't have it with me.
MRSA 405C6C.
what we said.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion. Are we gonna need to make a motion
I
afterwards?
don't anticipate that we'll take any action after we come out other than adjourning.
Okay. So for those of you waiting out there, we probably will not reopen again.
Actually, the only person left up there.
Hannah, okay, thanks. All right, all those in favor?